I'm ready to receive a motion to that effect. Are there any nominations?
I think Senator Miji is going to make a motion.
Okay. It is moved by the Honourable Senator Meji that the
Je
Honourable...
propose la sénatrice Martin.
Wait. That the Honourable Senator
As
Martin...
I move Senator Martin as...
Yeah.
Is it your pleasure, Honourable Senators and Members of Parliament, to adopt the motion?
Oui.
I declare the motion carried. Senator Martin?
Merci tout le monde. Merci, chers collègues,
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, dear colleagues.
for your confidence. If I may continue, le prochain item à l'ordre du jour.
The next issue on the agenda is electing the Senate Deputy Chair. I'm ready to receive a motion to this effect. Are there any other nominations? I move Senator Miji.
Is there a nomination for Vice Chair?
Madame la Présidente,
Madam Chair, I move Senator Miji.
Il est proposé par Sénateur.
It has been moved by Senator Dalphond that Honourable Senator Miji be elected Senate Joint Chair. Is it your pleasure, Honourable Senators and Members of Parliament, to adopt the motion? Yes. So I declare the motion carried. Congratulations. Thank you so much, dear colleagues.
Alors, bonjour à tous.
Very well then. Good evening, everyone. I am the Joint Clerk of the House of Commons for this committee, and we will proceed to elections to the committee from the House of Commons. I just would like to remind everyone that pursuant to the order carried in the House, the co-president or president from the House must be a member of the governing party. So I'm ready to receive motions for the joint chair from the House.
I cannot hear you, Mr. Maloney.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you call my name. Thank you. Yes, I'd like to nominate Dr. Hetty Fry.
Alors, il est proposé par John Maloney.
So it is moved by John Maloney that Dr. Hetty Fry be elected co-chair House of the committee. Any other motions? Not seeing any. Is it your pleasure, committee members, to adopt this motion? Yes, yes, very good. So I declare the motion carried, and Ms. Dr. Fry is duly elected joint chair House of this committee. So I suggest that Ms. Fry take her virtual chair, but with your permission, I would like to proceed to electing the vice chair's House of the committee. Is this suitable to all?
Special order passed by the House of Commons in April this year. The first vice chair must be a member of the Conservative Party or the official opposition. I'm now prepared to receive motions for the position of first vice chair. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I would like to nominate Carrie Lynn Finley for the position of vice chair.
So it has been moved by Mr. Moore that Ms. Finley be elected as first vice chair of this committee. Are there any further motions for nominations? No? Is the committee in agreement with that motion? Thumbs up,
Agreed.
thumbs down? Agreed, yes?
Agreed.
I declare the motion carried and Ms. Finley duly elected first vice chair of this committee. Et maintenant,
And now, the second vice chair of the committee, or deputy chair, vice chair actually, must be a member of the Bloc Québécois. So I am open to nominations. Yes, Mr. Arsenault. Thank you, Mr. Joint Clerk, I would like to move. Well, it's a difficult choice, but I think that Mr. Luc Thériault would be very good for this position. So Mr. Arsenault moves that Mr. Luc Thériault be elected second Vice Chair House of this committee. Is it your pleasure, members of the committee, to carry this? Very good. Then the motion is carried, and Mr. Thériault is duly elected second Vice Chair House of the committee. Mr. Virani, unfortunately, I can't hear you.
Also struggling with this. It is as difficult as selecting the block vice chair, but I think I'm going to hedge my bets and nominate Mr. McGregor as the NDP vice chair.
Okay, so it has been moved by Mr. Virani that Mr. McGregor be elected as third vice chair of this committee. Is the committee in agreement with that motion? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Agreed.
Yes?
Agreed.
Okay, so I declare the motion carried and Mr. McGregor duly elected third vice chair of this committee. So congratulations to all. And on that, I think we will leave the floor to the respective joint chairs for the continuation of your deliberation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to thank everyone for electing me co-chair. I know that Yona and I will work very hard and very well together. We talked enough on planes going back to British Columbia every Thursday night, so I think we know each other quite well. Congratulations, Yona.
Well, thank you, Dr. Fry. Hetty, I feel the same way. We have an existing relationship as British Columbians, but we look forward to working with this very fine committee of colleagues from both houses, many who have experience really in this topic, as well as issues related, and of course, experience on the Hill. So thank you to all our colleagues for your confidence in us. I see Mr. Virani's hand up at this time.
Yes, thank you, Madam Co-Chairs. I was going to move some routine motions for the purposes of sort of structuring the committee. So if it works, I could move that now with respect. Okay.
Oh, so, actually, sorry, Mr. Virani, we have a list of these routine motions. Are you talking about all of the to constitute this committee and going forward? Should we continue with that, or do you have something else that
it is a list that may very well have been circulated. It relates to analysts, subcommittee.
Yes, we have that.
Yes, excellent.
Okay. Routine motions.
Yes, so I will then continue with that. Thank you. So do I have a mover for motion 1 that the committee retain as needed and at the discretion of the joint chairs the services of one or more analysts from the Library of Parliament to assist in its work?
So I so move.
Virani? Thank you, Mr. Virani. Is it agreed to adopt the motion?
Agreed.
I declare the motion carried. If I may, Madam Co-Chair, if I have a brief bio of each of the analysts, Julia, Nicole, and Marlissa Tiedemann, for everyone to just see if Julia and Marlissa would turn on their video. I have a brief bio of each of them, and just to see the experience that they bring to our committee. So Marlissa Tiedemann is a lawyer who has been an analyst and manager with the Library of Parliament since 2004. She has worked primarily in health law and Indigenous affairs. She has worked on end-of-life issues throughout her career, including supporting the 2016 Special Joint Committee on Physician-Assisted Dying and writing various publications on the topic. As a manager, she has supervised the team that works on social development-related issues, including disability-related issues. So that is our first analyst. And Julia Nicol is a lawyer who works as an analyst in the Justice and National Security section and has worked at the Library of Parliament since 2009. 2009. She works primarily in criminal law, human rights, gender, and foreign affairs, and has written a number of publications about medical assistance in dying. She has supported a variety of House of Commons and Senate committees, including the 2016 Special Joint Committee on Physician-Assisted Dying, as well as the OSCE Parliamentary Association. She's also worked for Health Canada on medical assistance in dying. So two very capable analysts that will be working with us. Thank you.
And now we come to the second motion, which is, do I have a motion, mover for motion 2? I see Mr. Virani's hand is up, so I will read the motion that the subcommittee on agenda and procedure be composed of the joint chairs and the vice chairs, and that the subcommittee work in a spirit of collaboration. Is it agreed to adopt the motion? I declare the motion, everyone is in agreement? I declare the motion carried. If this motion is adopted, as you have just done, the steering would be composed of 6 members, 1 Senate joint chair, 1 Senate vice chair, 1 House joint chair, 3 House vice chairs. The total steering members will be 6. Is everyone in agreement with that? Senator Kuchar.
Can I ask a question here, Chair? I just wonder if it would be reasonable to have an additional senator join that committee.
It would seem to me to be reasonable because both Senator Martin and I would not be able to vote when we make those decisions. So there may need to be another senator carrying a vote other than Senator Magee. And similarly for the House. Senator Wallen.
Senator Kuchar.
Thank you, Dr. Fry. I'd like to nominate Senator Kuchar for that position.
Any other nominations? Is everyone in agreement that Senator Kuchar will become that other person?
Yes, I agree.
Yes, everyone agrees. So then I think it may be prudent to do the same for the House. Does anyone want to move a person in the House that is not a vice chair, but that is going to be taking a vote? It would have to be a Liberal because I would be chairing and not voting. Anyone move?
Sorry, may I ask a quick question on this, the co-chair?
Yes.
Did you say that there would be 1 additional member from the House, or would there be another Conservative member as well? Would there be 2 additional members? I don't know if MP Carrie Lynn has a similar question or if this is a nomination, but I was just trying to get clarification on the additional members from the House.
I think that what would happen is that because in my instance, the chair would not be able to vote, we would need to have a member of my party be carrying the vote for me. And so that would be a Liberal, I suppose. Is somebody going to move someone?
Yes, Dr. Fry.
Yes,
I would like to nominate Mr. Virani.
So nominated. Is there any objection to Mr. Virani? Is everyone in agreement with Mr. Virani?
Agreed.
Agreed. I hear no dissenting comment. Thank you very much. So now we have a steering committee that is going to be made up of 8 members. That includes the 1 Senate joint chair, 1 Senate vice chair, 1 House joint chair, 3 House vice chairs, and 1 person from the House and 1 person from the Senate. The person from the House being Mr. Virani and the person from the Senate being Dr. Kuchar. Yona, do you want to do the next round?
Yes. Est-ce que quelqu'un propose la motion 3?
Do I have a mover for motion 3? That the subcommittee be empowered to make decisions on behalf of the committee with respect to its agenda, to invite witnesses, and to schedule hearings. Yes, I move the motion. Thank you, Mr. Arsenault. Is it agreed to adopt the motion? I declare the motion carried.
Okay, I can't vote actually, sorry. Now, subcommittee on agenda and procedures. Do I have a mover for motion 4, that the subcommittee report its decisions to the committee? Is it agreed to adopt the motion? Yes, seeing no
Yes.
dissension, yes, then the motion is adopted. This is a standard routine motion for most House of Commons committees, so I don't think there's any further discussion on it. Yona?
I see MP Carolyn Finley's hand.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to move the motion. So
Okay, thank
that's
you.
fine. Thank you.
Do I have a mover for motion 5, that the joint chairs be empowered to direct communications officers assigned to the committee in the development of communications plans and products where appropriate, and to request the services of the Senate Communications Directorate and of the House of Commons social media team for the purposes of the promotion of their work? I see Senator Wallen to move the motion. Okay. I see your head nodding. Thank you. Is it agreed to adopt the motion?
Agreed.
Adopte.
Now, do I have a mover for motion 6? This motion states that witnesses appearing before the committee be given 10 minutes to make their opening statement, and that during the questioning of witnesses, the time allocated to each questioner be 5 minutes for each round. The order of questions for the first round of questioning shall be as follows. Usually, this is a decision that we're going to have to make. And so the second round will be as follows, and we will make a decision on that. Now, is it agreed to adopt this motion?
Madame la
And then we
Présidente,
need to discuss
Madam Chair.
what that time would be. Yes, yes.
Madam Joint Chair.
We consider maybe working from a different perspective. I will suggest myself, coming from the Senate, that every members of the committee be allocated an equal amount of time, let's say 3 minutes each for questions, and instead of having groups and time allocated to parties or groups. So my proposal would be that all members be allocated the same amount of time, let's say 3 minutes, in order to have 45 minutes for the first round.
This is now open to discussion. There's a motion on the floor from Senator Delphon. Mr. Arsenault.
Merci, Madame la Coprésidente.
Thank you, Madam Joint Chair. On the same topic, I would have thought it might be very good to have the witnesses be given 7 minutes only to make their opening statement, to allow more time to others for questioning. Now we're discussing the breakdown of questioning, but in my mind, I thought the 7 minutes was it for opening statements, and that's already quite long.
43 minutes. That would leave us then 43 minutes for questioning from the committee. And is it does everyone agree? Because we have a motion on the floor, Mr. Dalphon.
Madam Co-Chair.
Sorry.
I also had thought we were going to go with 7 minutes for opening statements, not 10. And you know, I'm certainly agreeable to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Finley, but that is already the motion we're discussing. So you are agreeing with the motion.
Well, no, you said 10 minutes for opening statements.
Mr. Dalphon put a motion forward saying 7.
Okay.
So that's what we're discussing. Mr. Dalphon's motion for 7 minutes.
Sorry,
as a presenter.
Sorry, my motion was really about time allocation for questions. And I think Mrs. Finley is right. You mentioned 10 minutes, but the motion, the draft we have before us says 7 minutes. So my proposal was really for the questioning, pour les questions qui suivent les présentations.
For the questions that will be heard after the opening statements.
Yes, yes. Well, anybody dissenting, is there agreement? Mr. Virani?
Thank you, Madam Co-Chair. I just wanted to indicate that from the perspective of myself and my colleagues on the Liberal benches, we have no issues with how the senators propose to divide up their time, and if they deem it more appropriate to take their 15-minute allocation and divide it equally amongst the senators who are participating in this group, we are perfectly amenable to that suggestion and would support it. Thank you.
Dr. Kuchar? Unmute, please.
Sorry, my apologies.
Stan?
I would certainly support Senator Delphone's motion. And I do have a question, maybe that I can ask, because there is one other issue that I want to raise in terms of the witnesses. And I don't know if this is a place to put it because I couldn't see where else I could put it. So could I just table it now, or should we wait until we vote on Senator Delphone's
We need
motion?
to wait until we vote
Okay,
on the
then I
motion.
can wait that. Thank you.
Mr. Thériault.
Yes, Madam Joint Chair. I would just like to understand clearly, first regarding the 7 minutes for the opening statements. I certainly agree, for having seen it elsewhere, that this would make sense. And I believe that the witnesses can certainly, within the discussion that will occur after their statements, complete anything they have not had time to say. Now, I think that I understood Honourable Senator Delphone's proposal. I believe he is suggesting that everyone have an equal time for questioning. But I'm not sure exactly how much time he was thinking of. Perhaps he could specify once again.
Minutes?
Oh.
Am I right? Yes.
Oui.
Yes, yes.
Minute.
Very well. 3 minutes seems quite insufficient to me. Therefore, I suggest that we share time in a more conventional manner, being a 5 minutes in the first round, 5 minutes for everyone who questions in the first round, and then go down to 4 minutes and then 2.5 minutes for the Bloc Québécois and the NDP, and then 4 minutes for the Independent Senators Group, 4 minutes for the Senate Conservative, and then 1.5 minutes for the Senate PSG and the Senate CSG, the Progressives, and the Canadian Senators Group, alternating. And the same in the second round, alternating from one meeting to another. Why? Because this is a legislation that is coming to us from the House, first and foremost. And when you count all of that, it would give 38 minutes to representatives from the House and 33 minutes to representatives from the House, which seems to me quite legitimate and appropriate as far as time allocation goes. And you know, there are times in any meeting when, and I've seen this myself, in discussions of the Elections Act, for example, it is always possible that a colleague be speaking, very sincerely, and that we can all be generous and allow them a little extra time. I would think that that would be the way to go about it at the right times, of course. That said, I will not support the 3-minute proposal.
I guess that you are making an amendment to Senator Delphone's motion. Does anyone agree with the amendment? Is there discussion on the amendment? Ms. Finley?
Thank you, Madam Co-Chair. I agree with MP Thériault's intervention. I don't think 3 minutes is long enough, frankly. And a more conventional approach.
Marilyn, your mic is muted. It went.
Okay, sorry.
I got muted, but
yes.
It won't be the first or the last time, no doubt. The joys of Zoom meetings. In any event, my point was that the more traditional approach and starting with the 5-minute questions, I think makes more sense than 3 minutes goes by awfully quickly. 5 minutes goes by awfully quickly when you're talking about important topics like we will be discussing.
Senator Wallen?
The Senate, thank you, Co-Chair. The Senate members, I think, all agree on a more equitable distribution time. We had discussed this in advance, unless I misread our emails amongst ourselves, so that we would divide our time as we have as Senator Delphine proposed.
Senator McGee?
Oui, merci, Madame la Présidente.
Yes, thank you, Madam Co-Chair. I remain somewhat confused regarding Honorable Senator Delphone's proposal. When he says equal time, does he mean equal time for the witnesses or equal time for us when it comes to our rounds of questioning? I'm so sorry. It's simply unclear to me. Could Honorable Senator Delphone just specify for me?
Merci, Madame la Co-Présidente.
Thank you, Madam Co-Chair. The time I'm suggesting is for the rounds of questioning by senators, and I understand that members of Parliament do not wish to share time equally, but the proposal would be to have senators share time equally if we agree to this.
D'accord.
Very well, then I agree.
Thank you for clarifying that. And now, Mr. Varani.
Yes, thank you, Madam Co-Chair. I just want to be clear that the motion, as per the written routine motions that was distributed, speaks to time allocation. I just want to read that into the record so that we're clear, because I believe Senator Delphine is only proposing to amend the Senate portion, and that there's no suggested change to the House of Commons portion. So that motion says that witnesses appearing before the committee be given 7 minutes to make their opening statement, and that the order of questions for the first round of questioning shall be as follows: 5 minutes House of Commons Liberal, 5 minutes House of Commons Conservative, 5 minutes House of Commons Bloc Québécois, 5 minutes House of Commons NDP, and then it proceeds to 5 minutes Independent Senators Group, 5 minutes Senate Conservative Group, 5 minutes Canadian Senators Group, and 5 minutes Progressive Senate Group, alternating between the last two Senate groups from meeting to meeting. And it continues, questioning during the second round shall be as follows: 4 minutes to the House of Commons Liberal, 4 minutes to the House of Commons Conservative, 2.5 minutes House of Commons Bloc Québécois, 2.5 minutes House of Commons NDP, 4 minutes Senate Independent Senators Group, 4 minutes Senate Conservative, 2.5 minutes Senate Progressive Senators Group, and 2.5 minutes Senate Canadian Senators Group, alternating between the last two Senate groups from meeting to meeting. And if I understood correctly, what Mr. Delphine is seeking to do is simply amend the configuration with respect to the senators, but not to touch the configuration with respect to members of the House of Commons. Thank you, Madam Co-Chair.
Is that clear to everyone?
Correct. So the 15 minutes for the senators will be allocated between senators.
Yes. So shall we we want to vote first on the amendment that was made. Those in favor of the amendment
Madam
made
Chair,
by Mr.
I think
Terrio?
there are a few more questions or interventions. Mr. Moore
sorry,
and
Mr. Moore.
Fierro.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, thank you. So for the Senate, looking at this amendment, if it is equal amongst senators, the different groups, for the Senate Conservative, for example, where our member is a co-chair, what is the process by which that time would be used?
I think that it would be the same as anybody else asking a question. As Senator Martin and I, as co-chairs, will not be asking questions, but Senator McGee is free to ask questions like any other senator.
No, but Madam Co-Chair, what Mr. Moore is asking is, I'm the only conservative in the group of senators but I'm also co-chair. So in terms of the allocated time for a conservative senator, currently I'm sort of both. So I think when I'm co-chairing, you and I have agreed that we would take turns chairing panels. And I guess that the panels where I am chairing, perhaps if I'm co-chairing, but there is a time allotted for a conservative senator to ask question, if it's agreeable to the committee, perhaps I could ask one of my House colleagues to take that time. I'm not sure if that's something we could work out. As co-chair, I would not be involved in the questions per se. I may make an intervention, but these are details I feel like we can work out afterwards, and I can bring it back to the committee. But for now, I think we're all in agreement that the witnesses should speak for 7 minutes, that it's the time allotted to senators that will be divided equally, and we will work that out among the senators. And the rest of it is the same as proposed. So I think we've almost reached agreement on this, but that's a very good question by Mr. Moore in regards to the time allocated for a Conservative senator to ask question, because I'm the only Conservative senator at this time.
However, there are actually only so many people on the Senate committee. So
yes.
I don't know if a House of Commons member could replace a Senate member. I don't think that's how joint committees work. So that's going to be a very different. It was agreed on originally in the House that this is how it would be. These would be the number of people who were there. So I don't know that we can change that.
No, so I'm not suggesting we change it at this time, but I will discuss with my Senate colleagues, and we did talk about this, and I understand the importance of everyone having time allocated. So when I'm chairing, that's one of the things I would need to forego, or perhaps there are times when the co-chair can intervene at the end, if depending on time remaining. So this is something I will work out. But I see a few more hands, so I'm wondering if we should hear from our members and then try and conclude this motion.
Well, I would like us, because we're voting on an amendment that we have not voted on yet. So, Mr.
Yes.
Theriault, it was your amendment. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, it was Senator Delphone's amendment that we were.
Oh, but no, the original amendment, the original motion was Senator Dalphon. Then Monsieur Theriault made an amendment to it. And so we need to get rid of that amendment, either vote against it and just deal with Senator Dalphon, whose is only regarding senators, because it's become a little bit crazy now that we're talking about. So Senator Theriault's motion was about the House, and Senator Dalphon's was about the Senate time. And I think the Senate should decide on what they want to do, and the House should decide on what they want to do. So we have Mr. Theriault's amendment on the table, and I don't know if we want to vote it in, vote it out, because Mr. Varani made a very clear sense of what he was reading.
Juste un moment, Madame la Présidente. Là.
Just one moment, Madam Chair, to clarify all this. Mr. Varani, upon reading the motion, well, that's the same reading that I have of the motion. I merely wish to ensure that when Honourable Senator Delphon addressed us his proposal of allotting equal time to senators, it didn't seem clear to me when he first proposed this, but I certainly understand that senators may agree among themselves to share their time in an equitable manner. But was that solely for the second round? Given that in what I have put forward and in what Mr. Varani has also read as the motion, where there is a difference is in the second round, where times differ. So was the proposal to apply to both the first and the second rounds 3 minutes? I just wanted to have a clear understanding of that before voting.
Mr. Delphon, Senator Delphon, would you like to clarify, Mr.
Avec plaisir.
Yes, with pleasure. Yes, it's my pleasure to specify that equal time among senators for the first round and for the second round. That will be 9 minutes and a half, I think, in total, leaving about 2 minutes each. Now I've understood that clearly. Thank you. Thank you.
Are you then withdrawing your amendment, Mr. Theriault? Yes, you are, I think, right?
Yes.
Good. So now we're moving back to the original motion.
Si c'est cet amendement-là.
Yes, indeed. given that the amendment was not necessarily applicable to Mr. Dalphon's motion.
Good, thank you. So now we have a motion on the floor, which Mr. Virani might want to read the House once more, and Mr. Dalphon might want to read the Senate once more, so that we can all vote on it.
Madam Co-Chair, can I just speak to what Senator Martin had raised?
Yes, may I make one point of clarification before you do that, Mr. Virani? And that is, in the Senate, the chair can ask a question. So that's why when I agreed with my colleagues, there are times when, if I'm chairing that panel, I may not. I may have an opportunity to make an intervention maybe towards the end, depending on time, but I guess it's important not to forego the time allotted for a conservative senator. So in the Senate, the chair does take the opportunity, if they're over the course of a meeting, to ask the question, but that may not be the same in the House. But if the senators among ourselves can, allot equal time within the group, then it can work quite easily, because that's how things work in the Senate. And that is why Senator Dalphon proposed this, because this is what we do in the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. Virani.
So I would simply say, with respect to this, how do we sort of address this issue of the conservative senator being able to ask questions of committee members? I'll agree it's a difficult one. It's a good point that's been raised by Mr. Moore. But I would simply say that I do agree that I think it's problematic. I think you would flag that, Madam Co-Chair, Ms. Fry, that it would be problematic for MPs to be stepping into the place of senators and allowing that to occur, if simply because there is no possibility when that would occur on a party basis, except for one, because no other party has senators except for the Conservative Party of Canada. There are no Bloc senators, there are no NDP senators, there are no Liberal senators. So there's an inequality that would be created right at the outset. Obviously, the senators amongst this group have better understanding of how things run in the Senate than they do in the House. We know that in the House, Mr. Maloney, Madam Fry, you're chairs of committees, there might be others. It does happen on an ad hoc basis, but it's usually just ad hoc that the chair asks questions. So how we sort this out going forward, if it becomes regular, that may be something we need to sort of sort out in advance, because on an ad hoc basis, I don't think anyone would object. But if it's a regular occurrence, then perhaps it might compromise some of the equality of the rules that were pre-established.
Yes, yes. I agree with you, Mr. Virani. So I think Senator Martin was suggesting that she talk about this with her Senate colleagues, and maybe the Senate can work with the House whip and see how the two groups come to some kind of agreement on what happens here. It is a difficult situation because of the unequal number, and because, as you pointed out, Mr. Virani, there are no traditional political parties in the House, in the Senate, in the same way that there are in the House. And the House goes by its own rules.
There is the Conservative Party, yes.
But so the point is that we, as a standing committee or as a joint committee, will have to go with committee rules as established. And so I think it may be that I would like to ask the clerk to bail us out of this, because it's a bit of a difficult problem. I mean, we have the House rules works according to certain rules. I understand that when the whips discussed it, they had a clear sense of what they wanted to do, the Senate whip and the House whip. And now we have this conundrum that was brought up, and it is a conundrum, all right. It's reasonable for us to have to discuss that. So can the whip tell us where we go from here? Because I don't think any of us had discussed any of this, and I'm just going with what the two whips had originally agreed on. So
are you talking about the joint clerks, Madam Chair?
Yes, I'm
whips? You said the whips.
No, I said the whips had agreed originally when these committees were set up on what it was going to look like, and I'm going on that agreement. So the point now is, does the clerk tell us how we deal with what you brought up, which Mr. Virani also talked about and Mr. Moore talked about? So does the clerk have a suggestion? Mark?
Yes, I might have a suggestion. on behalf of the joint clerks.
Yes.
How about you continue the discussion maybe offline? We leave this routine motion maybe on the side for the time being. You continue the discussions, and maybe at the next meeting you can have reached a deal meanwhile between each other and tackle that conundrum, and then you can pass that motion at the next meeting as fully baked, and that a motion that would be agreeable for everyone.
Thank you, clerk.
I don't know.
It's a very reasonable suggestion. That's why you're the clerk. You've come up with a way to deal with this, and I think perhaps this is how we should go. We should possibly leave this to discuss at the next meeting and let the whips of both houses and the senators discuss amongst themselves how we deal with this conundrum. Do I get a sense that we could all move on now and leave this one for the next meeting?
Yeah, Madam Chair, there's many hands up still.
I noticed.
So we are stuck here. The only thing I should add is that the conundrum was created by the government. We are the official opposition, and we've always been part of the party. But in the Senate groups, we have all worked out our relationship. And what I had said was, if this motion is adopted as amended by Senator Delphine, that the senators will work out this the time allocation. I am the only conservative, and in terms of my position on this issue, I'm also representing the other side, and everyone else, for the most part, has been in agreement. So I think it is important that I do retain that time. And in the Senate, chairs are allowed to intervene, and we have had that on multiple occasions. So if there's a respect of both houses where we retain that practice during a committee, I feel we can adopt this motion as amended by Senator Delphine, and we work out the time allocation and questioning for the senators, and we can take this offline as suggested by the clerk and work out some of those details. But I do see several hands.
Yes,
so I think
Senator
we should
Wallen.
Thank you very much. I think Senator Martin has said it. We will, and I think we have agreed in advance that we will give Senator Martin a voice because she does represent the Conservative Party, and she represents a different view primarily from the others. And I think we have all agreed that she will be allowed to ask questions, and she will be judicious about that. And you are chairing on alternate weeks, so she would still have an opportunity on those weeks. So I think we can agree to that. The other question that we can deal with as well is that the Canadian Senators Group and the Progressive Senators Group have been silenced on one meeting. We've been told we can only speak on alternative meetings as well if we adopt this motion, and that is not, I don't think, what we've agreed to as senators. So I don't know about accepting this language as it is, and maybe we should just put that off so that we can fix the language all around. But just so everybody knows, the 5 senators represented here today will assure Senator Martin a voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wallen. And I think that's what the clerk is saying. Put this aside and come back to it. But Carolyn Finley and then James Maloney.
I just want to be clear where we're at here. It looks to me like we're looking at the routine motion as set out by
Motion
Mr.
6.
Virani.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are looking at a suggested amendment by Senator Delphine, which would differently divide up the Senate time, but the aggregate Senate time remains the same.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct.
And if I am,
You're correct.
then thank you. Then I agree. It seems to me the senators should be able to work out their time, but I don't think that should necessarily delay us passing this motion. It could be with that caveat or however we want to do it, but I think they should be, because the rest of it I think were agreed to. So it could be with the caveat that that portion that needs a little bit more work from the senators, and they'll bring that portion back to us. But their overall time allotment we can agree to, and we can agree to the rest, I think. Assuming we are in agreement.
Assuming we are in agreement, and I think that's, again, the suggestion would be, if I remember what everyone was saying, is that the witnesses would get 7 minutes to present, and that after that, the questioning with regard to the House members would be, as Mr. Virani spoke and read out, and then the senators will talk amongst themselves and but agree that their time allocation in total will be the same, and they will just agree how they move that forward and bring it back to us at another meeting. But in the meantime, we could pass motion 6 as it stands. Do I have any disagreements on that?
But
No?
as it stands, as amended.
As amended.
Yes, as amended. Well, yes, by Mr. Dalphond. No discussion. Well, then I think we should move on. I think that this motion 6 has been passed as amended, and we're going now with Senator Martin.
Yes, thank you. Est-ce que quelqu'un propose
Do I have a mover for motion 7? That the joint clerks of the committee be authorized to distribute to the members of the committee only documents that are available in both official languages, and that witnesses be advised accordingly.
Yes, I propose
Senator
the motion.
Wallen? Merci. Convenez-vous d'adopter la...
Thank you. Is it agreed to adopt the motion? Carried. Thank you.
Madam Co-Chair, for motion 8.
Motion 8, do I have a mover for motion 8? And I will read it. That the joint clerks of the committee be authorized to make the necessary arrangements to provide snacks and beverages for the committee and its subcommittee.
I would move that, Madam Co-Chair.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Finley.
Important to eat.
Yeah, of course. Is there any dissenting voice here? So I gather this is passed, and this is a standard motion for the House committees. In June 2015, there was a decision to no longer allow committees to order working meals, but to order working meals are still permitted coffee and snacks, and the cost is absorbed by the Senate Committee's Directorate, I understand. If this motion is adopted, the Senate's share of the snacks and beverages cost, 70% House of Commons, 30% Senate, would also be absorbed by the Senate Committee Directorate. Just so you know what you just voted for. Thank you. Senator Martin?
Yes, I see Monsieur Arsenault's hand.
Oui, question, j'imagine que ça ne...
Yes, I have a question. It doesn't say so, but I imagine that committee meetings would be occurring on the Hill, except for the fact that our MPs and senators will be meeting virtually. Yes, is that what we're speaking of? Otherwise, of course, I could order anything at home, virtually, sort of, and that would be just terrific.
Does the Senate pay for that if you order at home? All right. Thank you.
Yes,
Mr.
motion
Arsenault.
9. Thank you. I'd like a mover for motion 9, and I'll read the motion that either joint chair or in accordance with the direction of the joint chairs, either joint clerk be authorized to approve payment of expenditures of the committee. Senator Wallen?
So moved.
Thank you. Is it agreed to adopt the motion?
Yes.
Adopted.
Actually, I shouldn't be voting, actually. Now, the next one is with regard to travel, accommodation, and living expenses of witnesses. Do I have a mover for that motion?
I do move, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Dalphond. That if requested, reasonable travel, accommodation, living, or other witness expenses, including childcare and or personal attendant care, or the cost of an approved headset be reimbursed to witnesses upon application, not exceeding 2 representatives per organization, and that in exceptional circumstances, payment for more representatives be made at the discretion of the joint chairs. Is it agreed to adopt the motion? The motion is adopted.
Thank you. And may I have a mover for motion 11? Senator Meiji. Merci.
Je propose la motion 11.
Thank you. I move motion 11.
That unless otherwise ordered, each committee member be allowed to be accompanied by 1 staff person at an in-camera meeting, and that 1 additional person from each House officer's office be allowed to be present, and for the Senate, that the leader or facilitator of the government and each recognized party or parliamentary group be entitled to 1 additional staff member at these meetings. Is it agreed to adopt the motion?
Yes.
Adopted.
Now, transcripts of in-camera meetings. Do I have a mover for motion 12? Senator Kuchar, that 1 copy of the transcript of each in-camera meeting be kept with the joint clerks for consultation by members of the committee or by their staff. Do we agree to adopt this motion? That motion is carried.
Est-ce que quelqu'un propose la motion?
Do I have a mover for motion 13?
Merci.
Thank you. That the committee publish its proceedings in both official languages.
Convenez-vous?
Is it agreed to adopt the motion? Yes? Yes. I declare the motion carried.
Do I have a mover for motion 14, which reads that 48 hours notice be required for any substantive motion to be considered by the committee, unless the substantive motion relates directly to business, then under consideration, and provided that A, the notice be filed with the joint clerks of the committee no later than 4 p.m. from Monday to Friday, and that is Eastern Standard Time, and that B, the motion be distributed to members in both official languages by the joint clerks on the same day the said notice was transmitted, if it was received no later than the deadline hour, and that C, notices received after the deadline hour or on non-business days be deemed to have been received during the next business day. Is it agreed to adopt the motion? All right. The motion is adopted. We have received 2 notices of motions from Mr. Thériault that could serve as additional routine motions. Mr. Thériault, please go ahead and move them 1 at a time.
Oui, merci.
Yes, thank you, Madam Joint Chair. I will read them. That all documents submitted for committee business that do not come from a federal department or that have not been translated by the Translation Bureau be sent for prior linguistic review by the Translation Bureau before being distributed to members. This is simply to ensure that all documents be of a quality that is sufficient for our work and to ensure that the Translation Bureau be able to review them. And I will read the second one as well. I know that this is done already, but it is important, I believe, to have it included as a routine motion, that the clerk inform each witness who is to appear before the committee that the House Administration Support Team must conduct technical tests to check their connectivity and their equipment that they will use to ensure the best possible sound quality, and that the chair advise the committee at the start of each meeting of any witness who did not perform the required technical tests.
To add one thing, thank you, Mr. Thériault, that these 2 motions have been passed at most House committees, and they will not create any additional problems for this joint committee at all, because they are already in existence.
Madam Co-Chair, I have an amendment to propose to the first motion.
Ms. Finney?
That it would read that all documents submitted for committee business that do not come from a federal department comma, members' offices, comma, or that have not been translated by the Translation Bureau be sent for prior linguistic review by the Translation Bureau before being distributed to members. This is an amendment that we've had routinely in order that that part is not held up. But of course, everything ultimately should be in both languages.
Yeah.
Is that a friendly amendment, Monsieur Thériault?
Absolument.
Yes, indeed, it is.
Merci.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So no dissenting voices to this. So that amendment is passed. Now, there is motion for an interim budget. And do I have a motion?
Madam Chair,
for that
there are
motion?
2 hands, perhaps.
Sorry,
it's regarding
Mr.
the previous
Mr.
motion.
Mr. Kuchar? Dr. Kuchar, sorry.
Thank you much, Madam Chair. I'd like to bring another motion for business. My apologies for not sending it to everybody, but if I could read it, that be each committee member receive 48 hours in advance from each witness their written brief submitted in both official languages. And the purpose of that is to give us time to prepare for our questions before we actually have to listen to the various witnesses.
Thank you. Mr. Kuchar has a motion on the floor. Any discussion on that motion? Mr. Arsenault?
Je n'ai pas de problème.
I have no problem, so to speak, with this motion being put forward by our colleague, moved by our colleague, but sometimes clerks have difficulty getting the witnesses in, except at the last minute. Sometimes they have to be slotted in, given that an agenda, for a number of reasons, has extra spaces in it. So, I love the basic idea because I, too, like to see the documents ahead of time. But might it be possible to add something to the effect of when possible? Keeping the same motion, but just adding in as much as possible or when possible. A good practical example, we've often seen witnesses coming in on a Tuesday. Instead of a Wednesday, they're told that they can't come on Wednesday, but there's space on a Tuesday. So that's no longer 48 hours, you see. So that sometimes being the case, could we please simply add, when possible, to the motion?
My perspective, that makes total amount of sense, and I would have no problem with that. Excellent suggestion.
So that's your friendly amendment then. Mr. Virani, and then Senator Wallen, and then Mr. Moore.
I support what Monsieur Arsenault had mentioned, and when possible would be a smart amendment to this. I had something to speak to with respect to 2 motions earlier, so I apologize, Madam Chair, so you can come back to me if you like, but it was about the access to in-camera proceedings.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
We'll get back to that then. Senator Wallen, and then Senator Mr. Moore. Sorry, Rob, I'm not sending you to the Senate yet.
My hand is up for a separate amendment when we are done this.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Moore?
You can send me to the Senate any time, but no, MP Arsenault said exactly what I was going to say. We don't want to limit the flexibility we have for a short notice witness to attend, but I think he's covered it with his sub-amendment.
Good. So since the clerk, Monsieur Cografier.
Oui, merci, Madame la Présidente.
Yes, thank you, Madam Joint Chair. I simply want to clarify when it comes to the speaking notes of a witness, because there's a distinction to be made between their brief and their speaking notes. And I just want to ensure that Senator Kuchar's motion is really about their speaking notes. The speaking notes sometimes reach us in only one of the official languages. If you wish to receive them, I can send them to you in English when they're received in English, and I'll send them in French when we receive them in French. I just want to ensure that the members of the committee understand that clearly and that there not be any eventual barrier to anyone receiving something solely in English, some sort of, rebellion if that occurs. I'm simply waiting for clarification on that point.
Couture, is that what you meant?
Well, I was hoping to have the speak. My apologies. It is the speaking notes. My error on that. You're absolutely correct. And I was hoping that we'd get the speaking notes in both official languages, frankly, whenever possible.
Right now, can we just move? Discuss Senator Couture's motion? Do we all agree with it so we can move on to Senator Wallen and Mr. Virani?
Yes, with the friendly amendment from.
Yes, with the friend, obviously, with the fees already agreed to the friendly amendment. All right, so I don't see any dissenting voices. So I will go to Mr. Virani.
Thank you very much, Madam Co-Chair. And just a matter of clarification, when I guess it was the third to last motion that was read out, it was about access to in-camera meetings. I just wanted clarification that when it says that one additional person from each House officer's office be allowed to be present, that would imply the whip and the House leader's office. Just wanted to make sure that that was clear because there'd been some confusion on the part of us as Liberals whether that was the intention. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm reading the routine motions as they are written, and it doesn't clarify that at all, Mr. Virani, unless somebody else can clarify it.
No, are you referring to motion 11, Mr. Virani? The one that says otherwise ordered each committee member be allowed to be accompanied by? Okay, so that would be motion 11.
Yes. And perhaps it's just a matter of interpretation, like maybe the clerk could weigh in, but when it says one additional person from each House officer's office, does that mean the whip is one of the House officers and the House leader is one of the House officers? I would have thought that the answer to that is yes, but I was just seeking some clarification.
It is, Mr. Virani.
Okay, thank you, merci.
Thank you. Senator Wallen, is that it, Arif? Good. Senator Wallen?
Yes, my question was, and I don't know to the degree to which this has been discussed with members of the House. I think we have agreement among Senate members that because time is so short, would we be prepared to consider meeting every Monday in the month of June rather than every other Monday, which was my understanding of what we were attempting to do. I'm hoping I'm wrong, so I'm just seeking clarification there before I move any amendment.
I would ask the clerk to seek clarification on that because I was surprised to hear that it was every other Monday. But then again, maybe the clerk can answer that.
Well, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, because the sound coming from Senator Wallen is very choppy. I don't know if other members are experiencing the same, but
okay, I'll try.
The time allowed for the committee to meet is on Mondays from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. based on the scarce resources that we have for holding meetings. Allowing Senate committees to meet and also all of the House of Commons standing committees to meet. But it's up to the committee to decide if it wants to meet every sitting week or every 2 weeks or once a month. The decision is entirely yours, but always on Mondays from 6:30 to 8:30.
Yes.
Thank you.
I was asking, can you hear me now, clerk? Can you hear me any better? My question was, because our time is short on the issue before summer recess or prorogation, who knows what may happen, would we be able to meet every Monday going forward until the end of June or until the House rises? And it sounds to me that we could. It sounds like you're saying that Mondays have been set aside. Okay.
Exactly. And you have the special permission of both houses of parliament to meet in an hybrid manner like we're doing tonight until June 23rd.
Okay. So is it necessary to move this?
I don't think so. Is anyone dissenting?
I would like to speak to this, please.
Yes, Ms. Finlay.
I agree to sitting every Monday until the House recesses, but one of those Mondays is 24th of May, which is the long weekend, and I would say we should not sit on Victoria Day, but accepting that statutory holiday, then I think we should, I agree we should meet each Monday until the House rises for the summer, and then resume
move that
in the
then. I will
fall.
make that a motion.
Thanks for that, Carolyn. Did you want to move that, Senator Wallen, officially?
Yes, I will move that with the exception of May 24.
Right. So is there anyone disagreeing? We all in agreement of this? So we can move on. And then I go to motion 15, which is that an interim budget of $50,000 be adopted and sent to the Board of Internal Economy of the House of Commons. Everyone's good with that? Good. And it's agreed. Then the motion is carried. And that actually, I think, Senator Martin, brings to a conclusion our meeting. Do you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, we got through it. Thank you, colleagues, and some good discussion, which gives us some food for thought in terms of how we will go forward and work together on this. So I know my co-chair, Hedy Fry, and I have already been having discussions, and I'm sure we are having other discussions. My Senate colleagues and I have done the same. So I'm also told that in regards to the motion that we did spend a fair bit of time on today, that there is some wording that we can bring to the next meeting, and Shaila Anwar of the Senate has suggested some wording already. So we will make sure we do that. And thank you to everyone for today's very productive meeting.
Thank you. Au revoir, everyone.
Both chairs. Thank you to both chairs.
Thank you, co-chairs.